And we'll let you say you'll get to better.
Gentlemen,
Hey.
Wow.
what's up? How's it going? Kenny's medicating, getting ready for the show. That's very good.
Self-medicating, yes.
Tim is medicating. I've been medicating since about 2 o'clock this afternoon because it was my nephew Kyle's 8th grade graduation party. So congrats to him. I think they're going to tune in tonight. And so there's plenty of beer and margaritas and all kinds of good stuff. So I've been pre-gaming for a while.
Nice.
You might not make it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make it. You might not be able to understand a fucking thing I say by the time we get to the end of the program, but that's all right. That'll make it more fun.
They will be like,
42.
You'd be correct.
Oh boy.
I would be correct. That's the answer to everything. Universal answer to life in the universe. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Tonight is open mic night on Three Tortured Souls, mainly because Dave is fucking lazy and he had a lot on this week and he found out that, hey, we're due for another open mic night. So guess what we're doing? Open mic night.
Nice.
Excellent. I love that when you get a free pass on the open mic night. So that helps after Kenny's very intense background work on the last show on the God helmet. So
we all need a break.
I don't know how many damn research articles we all read, but it was fun. That was a good show, but tonight will be a little more easy and laid back. We are going to keep it to a strict 1 hour tonight because Tim had an unexpected guest show up at his house that he would like to spend some time with, and that would be his daughter. So
my daughter came in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are going to be keeping it to the 1 hour mark. And if we get to all your questions, great. If we don't, too bad. We'll get to them next time.
Jeez. Telling it like it is. We might get to it. If not, oh well.
Yeah, we'll do our best. So let's see who is in the chat tonight. Hello, Melissa, JD, Robert, Gregory, and Bob. John Kennedy, John with the JOHN. Welcome. Thank you for listening. And let's see. We don't have any questions yet. So it's open mic night. Please submit your questions. But as we wait for those questions to come rolling in, I will open it to Tim or Kenny if they have any opening comments or anything they want to talk about, even anything, any stories, any articles, anything that's come up recently that they want to comment on. We'll do that until we get some questions coming in.
I have something.
Ooh. All right.
It seems like, at least with the news feed I get on my social media, that there is an influx of UFO sightings, and apparently the government has information and is disclosing information about knowing that they have, UFO technology. So I'm kind of interested in seeing where that goes. And I don't know what you guys think about it.
So I'll let out a little secret. A couple weekends ago, I went to the Ancient Aliens live show with my brother and sister. So that was fun. So Nick Pope was there. Of course, Giorgio, crazy hair alien guy. And then the other two, I'll get to them later, but people probably don't know who they are. But the other person was Travis from Skinwalker Ranch. So it was interesting. Okay. But they did address the exact same thing, Tim, the recent surge in UFO sightings and reports, which My comment is, and theirs was similar, is it's probably due to the increased media coverage and the congressional hearings that went on. And that and people at least feeling like it's, kind of like the paranormal when the TV show started. It's a little more acceptable to bring it out and talk about it. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. Maybe there's just more things going on right now. There's drones flying around everywhere for everything, so that could be it too. So anyway, all right, down to Kenny. What do you have to say about that?
I
Bill?
agree with what you guys are saying, and I think there's a lot of contributing factors to this, where so many people, we all have cell phones. Most people in our areas have cell phones, and they're all taking videos, they're all taking pictures. There's billions of pictures and videos out there, and it gets into this. We see weird shit in the sky. We don't know what it is, but coupled with the recent surge, there's almost like, and I don't want to cross a line here, I'm going to say like, I did too kind of mentality. Like, oh, you saw a UFO? So did I. I did too. It was over here. It was this black dot and we couldn't figure out what it was. Or it was a light in the sky and we couldn't figure out what it was. And those are being submitted. I did, for a time, I was doing a lot of review work for MUFON. And they would send me like pictures and videos. And it was, I mean, just honestly, it was crap. It was just a lot of crap. Literally like full-size image of nothing but black or shades of black, because you can't get a true black with a lot of these images, but one white dot, and they were like, "That's a UFO." I'm like, "You're right. I have no fucking clue what that is."
Thank you for that.
But I think we're getting this kind of mentality where it's like, well, I saw it too, and this is definitely a UFO. It's like, I think Dave, you mentioned it, you touched on it. It's the paranormal. Everything's a ghost. Everything's a UFO. Meaning alien. So I think it's really it's a turn away from critical thinking, and it's sad. It's making people just want to be popular and get clicks rather than actually look at something and say, oh, well, it's probably a plane. Let's look at the blinky lights that go with it. Oh, it matches, like American Airlines and their lights or something like that. It's a lot of ridiculousness. And I really wish something was out there, but we have to weed through all this bullshit first. Yeah. And it just makes it harder. Yep. So there you go. That's my comments on that.
All right. So Bob had a statement about it. Maybe I just haven't seen the news report, but it's funny that UFOs only show up in certain parts of the world. I never hear of UFOs over Central Africa or South America or the Pacific Islands. I'm going to say I'm not sure about the Pacific Islands or Central Africa, but South America, they do have a fair number of reports. I know the Brazilian military tracks some of that as well as some of the other countries that in South America that track it as well. So Kenny, go ahead. Sorry.
Maybe it's just the population amount. Like, are there a lot of people in these areas? Are they around the outer edges and not in the center of the country or the area? I don't know. I'd have to look at something like that and see are there people there to film weird lights in the sky? Yeah. And even if it's a weird light in the sky, or maybe they just have a better control over it and they understand, like, oh, wait, that's flight 927. Oh, we know what that is. Okay, good. And they go about their business. They don't bother to take a cell phone video and submit it to, TMZ. So there you go. That's all I got. I mean, I'm really trying to take it seriously, but the surge itself is full of crap and just really bad witnesses. And from what I've seen, most of them just want to say, hey, look at me. They want the clicks. They want the views. And it's become a social media frenzy kind of thing. And it's annoying, to say the least. Right. And I can't. You try. This is a constant uphill battle. And there's been several things that happened over the last couple of days where good science has been deleted from social media because of certain posts and stuff people will put up, and it's just like talking about pseudoscience or, and we're talking stuff from years ago that's getting flagged now, and people are getting banned or Facebook jail and stuff. And it's really starting to piss me off that this is such an uphill battle, not just skepticism, but just good thinking, critical thinking, and looking and investigating these claims. You can't do it. You're not allowed to have the time to do it.
Right.
Because if it's not instantaneous, people don't want to hear it.
Right.
And it's a shame.
Well, I saw a map along with some of those reports that we're talking about that seem to be surging right now. And they did a map of UFO reports, sightings. And it was heavily the United States and the UK and the surrounding areas and countries around the UK were, excuse me, very heavily dense with the with numbers of reports, and they seem to wane off as you venture outwards from that. And I think there's a couple ways you can look at that. One is that at least here and probably in the UK, especially around England, there's just a heavier population, and there's more ways to report it. So you'll have more access to phone lines, internet, writing facilities, mail, telephone. And the further you get away from technology, it's probably the harder it is. So I'm just kind of thinking to answer the question, at least on the barest minimum of raw data, it seems like UK and around that area and the United States has a very high level of reporting UFOs. But you have to get into that data and find out. It is possible that other places per population could maybe have reported if they had a way to report. But on the other hand, at least for the way it is on paper, the more technology,
already started.
Who's been gaming?
Technology. I have. The more technology advancement that you have, the easier it is to make a report.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we got questions.
Technological.
Technological. All right, we have questions. First one.
Let's do it.
Did you all plan a red shirt tonight? No. We're psychic, obviously. We just don't know it.
I mean, Dave's the only one in hell. He's got the whole glow thing back there.
Thanks to my new LED spotlights. Best $40 I ever spent.
It's really cool because you have this when you're sitting there, you almost have that halo effect going on, and then with the dolls and their shadows going out in the different directions, it looks really cool. I love it.
It was I don't know. I think I was having a cup of coffee this morning, and you scroll through whatever pops up on Amazon that's suggested for you, and I'm like, that looks like an impulse buy. It'll be here today. Perfect.
I hate doing that. I love it, but I hate it.
I do it all the time. All right. So
I picked mine just because it's kind of a, really happy in a good mood. Just wanted to be funny and lighthearted. Yep. I am not a Hawaiian shirt wearing type of person. So we got these with our escape room. So we can have Hawaiian shirt nights when we all show up and just, be goofy and have fun. But it kind of feels, they're very nice. Actually, the more I wear it, the more I'm like, these things are really comfortable.
It's nice and comfy.
It is. It's very cool.
Nice.
Cool in the manners of temperature wise. And I'm sure it's cool too. But I'm really happy. My daughter came in a good mood. Tonight's open mic night. Didn't have to research anything for hours and go down rabbit holes I could never climb back out of. So let's just put it on.
Good. I'm just a company man.
Yeah.
Company man.
You're our PR department.
That's right.
Perfect. All right. Next question. Kenny. I was searching Google for older articles you wrote and got IamKennyBiddle.com. It was some guy trying to discredit you. What was said about you is why I listen and follow you. and I believe others too. Is this legal?
So yeah, that's a fun story.
That's a great story.
Yeah, that's from a gentleman named Jeremy Jones, lives in Texas. So he was upset because somebody donated 2 pieces of equipment that he built. So he builds ghost hunting equipment. Well, he used to. I don't think he does anymore because honestly, it was so bad. He had so many complaints. People were receiving items that were broken already or wouldn't work. He wouldn't refund money. It was a nightmare to deal with him. But somebody donated 2 pieces of equipment, and I had posted like holding them up, picture of myself, like, hey, I'm holding this up and I'm going to check into these, which means I'm going to probably cut these open to see what's inside. And he went ballistic, like went right to Crazyville. And actually like reached out to me. He wanted to talk. So I was like, all right, I called him and talked to him on the phone, and he just like went off on me. You can't do this. You don't have permission to open that up and look inside. And I was like, well, that's not how it works. I can do what I want. And I posted an article. I published an article where I went through everything. I actually consulted somebody that was into, that was an expert in the circuitry that's being used, and got their opinion. And it basically was, it's like a $5 piece of equipment that was put together. It didn't do what he said it did, and he was pissed off. So he wrote a blog post for his website, and then he bought the domain name IamKennyBiddle.com to point people there. So that's the story, the short version of that story. Is it legal? I did report it to the owner of the I don't know what you would call them, the hosting platform. I didn't report it to them. I did talk to legal counsel, but unfortunately there's not much I can do about it, because he's out of state, and it would be too much money to actually go after him. So I mean, I just spread the word, his products are shit. If you can look it up, don't take my word for it. You can look it up. You can see how many people have complained about it. And over the years, people like you have looked it up because they've received broken equipment and looked into them and found my article and reached out to me and sent me pictures of stuff just broken. And I even, like, most of the stuff that he builds, it comes in those cases that are 3D printed. And I went to 2 buddies of mine that do 3D printing. Jason Gowan, you guys might know him.
Yeah.
And then Chuck Sanders also. Both guys do 3D printing, and showed it to them, and they were like, this is the cheapest shit that you could actually do. Like, when you do quality 3D printing, it's solid. And this stuff, I actually picked, it was like a static detector, had like a steampunk theme. I mean, it was really cool, something that I would put on my shelf if it didn't have his company name on it. But I picked it up out of the box, and my thumb went through it, like through the casing. And I was like, are you kidding me? This broke like that easy? And I mean, it was ridiculous. And then he got pissed off because I actually had a friend of mine build other versions of it. Same thing, but in a 3D ghost print it. Do I have one? I have, no, I think I have one downstairs. But they were ghosts. They look like your typical, like, throw the sheet over them kind of ghosts. And it lit up and did the same exact thing with the same components. And I raffled them off and raised money for cancer research instead. So I took a negative, made it a positive, and, I'm still here. He's not. So there you go. So hopefully that answered your question, Robert.
All right. Thanks, Robert. Next question from JD. Okay. I don't believe in curses or magic. That said, I curse someone, and now their mother may or may not be dying. What would you tell someone who legitimately believed in curses? Because I understand the appeal. I'll start first with Tim.
That is, there's a lot of psychological stuff going on relative to the way I believe. I don't know if you're saying that it's hypothetical, like if you would have cursed someone just out of anger, not actually believing it, or thought it was funny, or just try to do a joke. and it turns out that there are whoever you cursed is now ill, or maybe something bad happened to them. Like, I chalk that up to coincidence. Yeah.
And I'll point out, Tim, that he said that their mother may or may not be dying. What is that?
Yeah. I think he might be trying to avoid self prosecution. So, yeah, in a belief, if somebody is, a belief that is really dug in is hard to come. It's hard. You just can't show up with somebody that has a belief that's very, very deep and say, look at, here are some facts. Here's a paper. Here are some websites with facts, and they're just going to change. It's just not going to happen. I mean, maybe over time it can happen. The best that I say, what I've come to believe over a long time, is the best you can do is plant a good seed, and hopefully over time, with good discussion, good debate, maybe if they begin to look into it for themselves, maybe that seed will grow and begin to push out some of the belief. But you could go up to somebody that legitimately, honestly believed in curses and say, I don't think that they're real, and this is why. And it's just not going to do good. I think probably people that get to that point in their life where they do believe in curses, it's happened over a long period of time. It's probably, they learned it probably from somebody that they respect and trust, or it's been in their religion or their culture, or an organization that they belong to and have belonged to. So, you're taking this long-term cultivation of belief, and you want to just say it's not true. It's, that's I think an unrealistic expectation. Again, in my experience, the best that you can do is, if they're ready, if they're open to discourse and discussion, the best that you can do is in earnest, listen to their side. Don't interrupt them while they're talking about, their beliefs, and take it, and then tell them, I hear you saying this, and these are the things I want to say why I disagree with that. And the best you can do is hopefully, put a seed of information there, and hopefully it'll grow.
Okay. All right. I'll go quick. Mine will be short and simple. Depending on the age, family history, and I don't know what they may or may not be dying of, and diseases that affect people of that age that usually lead to morbidity and mortality. There's probabilities you can run, but I'm going to assume if you look at those things, there's probably something that is not above what would normally happen with somebody in that situation. There's also history and exposure to environment and all those type of things. And not knowing anything about it, I'm not sure that I'm sure you could probably defend it from the statistics and probability that would have happened to X number of people, regardless if you knew them or not, or regardless if you put a curse on somebody or not. So that's my quick response.
I'm kind of confused with this. I'm not sure. Like, did we establish, JD, did you actually curse someone? And if you did, why? I mean, why? First of all, why did you do it? I mean, were you pissed at them? But then more importantly is that you just stated that you don't believe in curses or magic, yet you did it. I don't understand what's going on here. And I mean, the if somebody's may or may not be dying, which I'm going to take as they probably are sick or something, and that's why there's concern. But I mean, I don't believe in curses either. I've had several people actually try to curse me. I'm still here.
I've been there when some people have cursed you.
Yes. So I don't think they work. I don't see any evidence that they work. I don't see anything beyond belief. And maybe coincidence, something coincided. And I think Dave was touching on it. Like, this might have happened anyway. You know, if they were sick already, or if they had something going on, you just didn't know about it, then it's going to happen. So, and the appeal, I mean, I guess I've seen it in movies and stuff, but like for me, there is no appeal, because like curses, I actually feel silly saying it, but that's just me. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone. If that's your way of thinking. Let's see. He says, I say it tongue in cheek. I threw a lot of negative energy in someone's direction who crossed me. So that's not a curse. That's just, you know, that's normal. I do the same thing. I see somebody that, you know, takes contacts a host and takes a domain name out my name. I don't like that motherfucker. But, you know, I don't consider that a curse. He's just a douche. But beyond that, like, I mean, if this is more tongue in cheek, then this is more of a hypothetical thing. I don't, why would you even say that you did it? You know, like, to come back around, if you are the one that cursed them and then something bad happened, why would you say anything? I don't know why you would actually approach them unless you're trying to apologize for something that you may or may not have done. I really don't know how to approach this, except for that ramble I went on.
Okay. I'll say there's two stories of curses that have interested me for a while, and I don't know if they're true. I don't know if they happened. Other than one of them was a documentary, and I'll explain later. But the one of them was somebody at the Warrens Museum, and they had the doll and Annabelle, I believe, and it was just kind of like, don't tap on the glass, don't tempt it, don't aggravate, try to agitate. And some guy was tapping on the glass, and they told him to leave, and he was on a motorcycle. They made him leave. He got on his bike, drove down the road, and was hit by a car and killed. So they were like, there it is. That's why, you know, the story was that's, you know, you got what you had coming from the curse. So my immediate question was, had you not kicked him out, he would have never met that same car at the same time that it took. So is it a curse or is it a coincidence? That, I mean, like I said, I don't know if it worked. I don't know if it's true, but the timing of it and everything, just, you know, I just don't believe it. I think that was a complete coincidence. And the other one was, I think it's the Bog Man. They dug up a body somewhere. It turned out to be it's very old, like thousands of years old, and they through, you know, research, they could tell like he was I don't want to say shaman, because I don't believe that's correct, but he was whatever part he played in the culture at the time was someone who reached out and did discussions to whomever that they believed in. And it was supposed to be very bad that you disturbed his resting spot. So the story was that everybody who was involved with removing his body, which was like 5 people, had died. Well, what they didn't disclose until the end of the documentary was like, it was like 25 years later that everybody died. So that made me think, you know, like, I want to say, like, all curses work if you wait long enough. You know, I curse you to pass away. Well, if you wait a certain amount of time, it's going to eventually come true, and then you can claim that it happened. So that's why I just don't think
that was good.
Yeah. I don't believe him.
Okay, moving on. Next question. Question is Gettysburg, this is from Gregory, Gettysburg more of a spook attraction than, say, Bull Run because of the location and PR? Let's start with Kenny.
What's this in regards of? I guess like the haunted history or haunted like reputation, I guess. That's what I'm going to go with. Mm-hmm. So it's I think it's become that. I mean, I've been there. I've been going there for maybe like 15, almost 20 years off and on. And I have definitely seen a shift in what people focus on. When I started going there, there was 2 ghost hunts or ghost tours, and you went there and there was more history there. I mean, there still is history there, but there were more history tours. You went there and you got a lot of history. And the last time I went, there was something like 13 or 14 different ghost tours. You could sign up for different ghost hunts, and there was a lot of emphasis on that, the paranormal stuff, and less on history, at least from what I was seeing. And it was disturbing. I think, there's a lot of emphasis on the attraction, the paranormal part of the attraction to get people there. And I think that's morphed over the years where it's less and less about the history, at least for the, I guess, popular attractions. Because it used to be you go on a ghost tour there and they would give you a bunch of history at each spot and then tell you a small ghost story. Like, oh, maybe the spirit of this man, after talking about the history of the battle or something that happened in that spot, they would tell you, like, maybe this soldier still hangs around because people see it. And it was really like almost a 90-10% ratio of history, 90% and 10% ghost story. And you went spot to spot. And that was great. And now it's like they give you, here's your EMF meter. If it blinks, you got a ghost. And they tell you more of the ghost stories and very little history. And again, this is my experience, so I can't speak for the entire town. I still go for the history. I still go and talk to the people that are dressing up, because there's people that dress up in the uniforms, and they still walk around. The reenactors walk around, and you can stop and talk to them, and they tell you all about who they're playing and what role they play in the reenactments and stuff. And I still love to do that. So that would be my take on this. I don't know if that answered your question, but there you go.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Bob has a question. What do you think is more believable? The alien UFOs exist, or that alien USOs exist and that there are underwater alien bases? I personally want there to be USOs that pop out of the water and scare the hell out of the cruise lines. Is that just me? Okay, we'll start with Tim on this one. Go ahead, Tim.
I kind of like the idea of scaring the hell out of a cruise line. Between the two, I kind of think alien life form will come from somewhere else. Although I have a standard saying that I believe if alien life does turn out to reveal itself as being here the whole time, I think octopus is going to be the alien life form, because those things are just badass to the bone.
Tim
They
has
are just,
staked his claim on that.
that's right.
Octopuses are aliens.
That's the hill he's going to die on.
They can tell you, like, probably once every 2 months, I'll see a video and I'll go, Kenny and Dave, I'll go down a rabbit hole of studying them and look how intelligent they are, how they can escape and open. And the way that they can camouflage is just bizarre. And I'm like, there it is. They're aliens. That's all. That's all. That's it. That's the only,
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go next. I think if alien UFOs exist and they have the technology, obviously a really great place to hide is going to be in the part of the world that's 3/4 ocean that we have very little coverage and insight into. So that would be a great place to hide. I mean, obviously there's a reason why various major military powers in the world have subs. Hard to detect, hard to find, a lot of space for them to navigate down there. So, I mean, I think if they were to come here and they had that technology, that'd be a great place to hide. So,
yeah, I don't know. I'm torn here because it's I see the USOs and all I can think of science fiction, and I've seen older movies where this idea has crept into the plot. I know that there was an older movie, and I can't remember what the name is, but it had to do loosely with Atlantis and underwater USOs coming up, and I can't remember, but I almost want to relate this to conspiracy theories with big hidden bases and stuff, where if you're going to build this facility under the ocean, I agree. Yeah, it's a great place to hide because it covers more of the earth than just the visible land, or the surface land. But I would also think that's a major undertaking to get that under there. You still have, I mean, unless they came here, and I'm totally going out in the speculation of the sci-fi kind here. But if you came here centuries ago, before there was any good technology or anything like that, then yeah, of course you could maintain a base, because then you wouldn't have to worry. I mean, the most you'd have to worry about is some pirates.
Yeah.
And and they don't care. They're like, hey, rum, with my kind of people. But to do it anytime recently, I think it would be more trouble, because you still have to get the materials down there and or build or prefab them to get them down there and interlock them without anyone seeing it and without anyone noticing. And I don't know if that's was in subs for 20 plus years and alas have no stories of UFOs. Yeah,
but to be fair, that there have been reports, but Gregory, that's one sub, and you there've been others. There've been reports. Are they legit unidentified submersible objects? I don't know, but there have been reports of them.
And that's hard too. Like, what are you actually seeing? If you're in a sub, as far as I know, there are no windows. You can't see out. You can get sonar, and I don't know what other technology there is, but at the most you can see objects that might be moving, but you're not going to actually see them. You're detecting them. That's a better description.
If you roll down the window, you can see them.
Well, yeah, but when you're in a dark environment like that, you want to just lock the doors and windows.
Absolutely.
You're scared. You're like in a bad neighborhood or something. I don't know.
There's octopuses down there.
Octopi?
Mm-hmm.
Is it octopi? Yeah.
All right.
I give up.
There's an octopus. Lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Okay.
All right.
Ready for the next one?
Yep.
John Kennedy, when is the next movie night?
I love this question.
We got to pick a movie.
Submit some ideas.
Yeah, submit some ideas. Shoot it to our 3TS chat. Send us a message, and with your ideas, and we can pick one and we'll plan it out. Because, yeah, I'm out of ideas right now.
Okay. Yeah, sooner than later. That'd be good. But we need ideas.
I love those.
Maybe, you know what? I just got the old movie from, what is it? The 70s, I think it was, on the Bermuda Triangle with Charles Schultz.
Isn't that it? Isn't that the one that does that have Atlantis in it?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's the one I'm talking about.
I also found out that it's available on YouTube for free after I spent $10 to get the DVD. Well, but that's okay. I'm old school. You know what? It's sad when you say I'm old school and you mean DVDs, but that shows you how old I frickin' am. But yeah, maybe that's an idea. Let's do that.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I've seen bits of it, but I haven't seen it all the way through. So I think there you go.
That's a good one. My dad took me to that when we moved to Libertyville when I was 2nd, 3rd grade, and it's probably one of the reasons I got interested in the paranormal, not just ghosts and haunties, but UFOs as well, and the Bermuda Triangle. So it's kind of a classic. That'd be a fun one to watch and kind of reevaluate as we're a little older and wiser these days. So, all right, we'll do that, and then we'll give you guys dates. We'll get it on our Three Tortured Souls Facebook page. Excellent. All right. Redmond 4277 question: can you guys take videos from Ghost and UFO and use them on Three Tortured Souls? Basically break them down and go be your take and get your take on what's in the videos. Yes, I think we are allowed to do that. And Tim and Kenny can correct me, but if it's educational analysis, like news type stuff, I think we can take those videos as long as we give credit and talk about them in a educational or a review way, correct?
So fair use allows for us to use clips. So we can't play the entire, like if it's like a feature, we can't play that. But yeah, for clips, you can play them in clips. You can actually break it up too. But yeah, fair use allows for educational, among other things, criticism and news coverage and stuff like that. So we can do that. YouTube might have a problem with it, but we can deal with that when it comes up. But yeah, we can certainly put up clips and review them. I do it on my show quite frequently, and I have that disclaimer. Yeah. There's a disclaimer up, but yeah, fair use allows for that. That's why I get away with a lot of the shit that I do with my articles.
And we're in a different situation than some other podcasts because we do not make money on the show. We don't make revenue or anything like that. So I think that frees up a little bit more what we're allowed to do and not do.
The only thing that would come up, and this is strictly YouTube, which if you use clips from other people, they can do a copyright not warning, but and it's not a strike, but it's a copyright claim where any commercials that YouTube runs during our replays, the money goes to that. But again, it doesn't matter to us because we don't make money on this.
I don't think we have enough viewers yet to make for YouTube to make money off of us, but
we might make a nickel each, up to now. From the beginning to now, we might have made like a nickel.
Based on the current rate of inflation, we owe everybody at least 10 cents.
That's good.
All right. Next question, Jim. Dr. Jim, the regulars kind of know the ground rules, but for open mic night, what is the scope of questions and topics that you are willing to address? Pretty much anything. Yeah.
I mean, there's really, the general rule of thumb that I usually go by is, if you've seen the show before, if you sit in for a few minutes, you kind of get the gist of what we're talking about and the topics that we cover. Even the opening theme, which was done by Dave, you can see the topics that we do cover. So we usually keep it in there. And like I have a standard rule, I don't do politics. That's one topic I won't touch.
I would agree. We'll stay away from politics completely.
Religion I get into a little bit, but as long as everyone understands we're going to be respectful of each other, because people can also get very passionate about that topic. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is open. I mean, last night I did an open mic night, and it was ranged from like, why didn't because I had Ben Rafford on, and one question was, why didn't he have a beard? So silly questions like that can come up. It breaks the tension a little bit and lets us laugh and have fun. So I don't mind them. But otherwise, have at it.
All right. This goes to Tim. Bob, does Tim have a pen in hand so that if he sees a question that he can turn into a show, that he can steal it immediately?
Yes, absolutely.
Tim?
Comment? I would never be so crass as to make a claim so fast.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
he
I
usually
would. Absolutely.
screams dibs first, and then he writes it down.
Yep.
Dick.
Okay. Moving. Bob, he is like the question man tonight, so thanks, Bob. What do you think of Bimini Road?
What?
Reminds me of a Family Guy episode where Stewie was heavy on the cool.
It's a great show.
All right, so I
had to
don't
Google
know
it.
what Bimini Road
I'm
is,
Googling it now.
so I have no thoughts on it. So that's easy.
So Bimini Road, sometimes called Bimini Wall, is an underwater.
Sorry, not Bimini.
Bimini. I'm going to be saying that all night.
I'm telling you, we should have a show where we just choose random words and try to pronounce them.
It's underwater rock formation near North Bimini Islands in the Bahamas. The road consists of a 0.8 kilometer or half a mile long northeast-southeast linear feature composed of roughly rectangular to sub-rectangular limestone blocks. Various claims have been made for this feature being either a wall, road, pier, breakwater, or other man-made structure. However, credible evidence or arguments are lacking for such an origin. That's the
So this shows how much I drank when we went to the Ancient Aliens group. Now I recall this. They did talk about that.
okay.
I honestly don't think they made even those guys didn't make too much of it.
I mean, I'd have to look into this a little bit more, and I'm definitely going to write it down. But I remember seeing.
Would you like to steal that topic for another show?
Yeah,
No.
Tim.
Not
You
that
want to
one.
steal that right
No.
now? Just get it done.
When I Googled it, the first one came up was the consensus among geologists and archaeologists is that road is a natural feature
Okay.
composed of beach rock and whatever that word is, and other joints that have broken up into rectangular and irregular blocks.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is like, I shouldn't say it like that. I guess the reason I say it like that is because every now and then we do a topic. We're like, oh, this sounds like it's great. And then we start researching it and we just find paper after paper after paper going, it's bull crap, it's bull crap, it's bull crap. And we end up just going, that was easy. And so right off the bat, it just looks like there's going to be a lot of actual experts in the field that would be looking at that, saying that the consensus is it's a natural forming.
Okay.
Well, it was presented on Sci-Fi Channel. So obviously it must be true. It must be aliens. It must be. But I think I'm going to look into this just a little bit more. But it looks like
I'll make a note.
Said. It looks like a natural formation that just looks kind of cool.
Okay.
I'm looking at a satellite image here.
Mhm.
I'll share it so we can all look at it. But it doesn't look all that impressive.
Let me add it. There we go.
It really doesn't look that impressive.
Looks to me like a really nice place to vacation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool. All right.
All right.
So there you go.
Yeah. Again,
Right.
So yeah, the idea of it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy it, but I think it's just going to be really probably easily taken out.
Okay. Redmond, probably going back to the UFO thing. Wouldn't
Yeah.
our satellites have proven these alien crafts exist by now? I don't know. We're pretty good. I mean, the US and other countries are pretty good at creating stealth technology, military wise, to avoid detection. And you got to remember, satellites are specifically designed to do specific things.
Mhm.
Some of them are military, but they're looking down at the earth. Some of them are looking into space. Other ones are telecom or telecommunications or internet. So I really don't know if there's any. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if there's any specific satellites that are searching for UFOs coming into the atmosphere from outer space. I don't know. But the military ones, I would assume if they saw something foreign come into whatever airspace that they're observing, they would detect that, maybe, unless they have some sort of stealth technology. I mean, I want to be honest. I think if aliens have the technology to traverse the universe, they're probably going to have a way to prevent us from detecting them, if that's what they're going to do. And even if the military did know, I'm pretty sure they're not going to say anything. They would not say anything. It would be, classified at the highest level. But that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's exactly what you said. The satellites are put up in orbit for specific purposes. And most of them have to do with what we do here on the ground.
Mhm.
So I would say the majority are pointed back down at us. For satellite imagery, military applications are probably for spying on foreign adversaries, keeping things in line, internet, Starlink kind of thing, and then weather reporting and observation. All this is for the benefit of what's going on this planet. We don't have Star Trek sensors, where we can say, oh, we actually can say like computer, and you get a nice woman's voice and going what, and you don't track things coming in. There's very few I want to say I don't know if I want to say satellites, but like the Hubble telescope and the James Webb, stuff like that are looking out. Everything is more pointed in, so we're not going to have an early detection of somebody's deciding, oh, we're going to fly in. It's not like, because Independence Day did that during the movie, the beginning of the movie. You see that, like, oh, our sensors picked up something coming from the other side of the moon. I don't think we actually have that. I know we have a something imaging the moon, but not something that we can go, oh, there's a craft on the way. Holy shit, we got an hour before it gets here. No, I don't think we have anything like that. That's science fiction, as far as I know.
Okay,
I might be wrong, but that's it.
Tim, anything to add there?
I think that's pretty much it. I have to say, like, I don't know enough to know. My limitation is I know that we beam shit up, they look at it, and they beam shit back down. So, I mean, honestly, the technology, I really don't know. I really don't know. I like your response as well. When you were saying, like, if an alien could traverse, make it here, go underwater, build a complete underwater self-sustaining, life-supporting system, that would be at least undetectable on a conventional sense, that they probably have a way to look at our technology and go, oh, isn't that so cute? Let's block it. But yeah, so I'm just saying, I'm really ignorant. Like, I have the idea of a satellite. I just don't know how they really work.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. We have 8 minutes left for tonight. So we're going to go rapid fire here.
Rapid fire
questions. So here we go. JD Sword, Timber County. Good. I'm out of this one. If you ever decide to go on a cryptid or Bigfoot hunt, I want in. Sorry, Dave. There's nothing horrifying about Chicago except Peapod. Listen, JD, you have not seen my fucking tax bill. That is horrifying. Come to Illinois, and there is a lot of stuff that goes on in Illinois, but all right, I'll turn it over to Tim and Kenny.
That's funny.
We have been on a Bigfoot where we attempted a Bigfoot. Yeah.
Together.
Yeah.
Together we have. Yeah. We went out to the western Pennsylvania. We went out during a conference. We went out. Yeah.
I met Altman. Is that his last name?
Altman. Yeah. Eric Altman. Yeah.
Nice guy. I enjoyed talking with him.
Yeah.
Very, very open and can discuss. That's really good.
Yeah. I've known Eric for many years, and he's been open and honest. He's a Bigfoot researcher, but he's not one of those that will kind of curve the truth or bend it just so it fits what he wants to believe. He's very honest. He's blunt and honest and really nice guy. So, I mean, I've asked him questions like, what's with the bullshit knocking, like hitting a tree with a piece of wood, and he's like, I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, we have been on it, and maybe hopefully in the future we'll get to again, but
yeah,
no plans right now.
Good point, John. Thank you very much.
Nice.
All right, Tim, anything else to add there? Or are you good?
I'm good.
All right, Redmond, question. If you want to stick with the 1970s, how about In Search of episodes for topics? That'd be good for movie night. Great suggestion. I like that. Good.
There's
Those
a good
great.
I'll slip this in there. There's actually a fun podcast called In Research of. And there's two guys that they go through every episode of In Search of, and they reevaluate what was presented. And they give you information that they don't provide in the TV show, and it's actually fun. It's very informative. I've been going through it. I'm almost done season 1, so really good.
In Research of?
In Research of, yes.
Okay, good.
Blake Smith and something Carr. I forget the other guy's name. Cars.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, do you think some form of Atlantis exists? I doubt the whole continent sunk into the ocean, but I can see a small city-state due to a natural disaster. I'll answer first and fast. No.
I'm going to be with you. No.
As far as the myth of Atlantis, I don't agree. But could a city that was built near a volcano or an earthquake-prone area, could it have slid off or been buried? Yes, but I don't think the myth of an Atlantis exists.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to try to make this really quick, but yeah, I agree. Towns or cities have been covered and or blasted away. We can see some examples of that in history, but the technologically advanced civilization that is talked about in the story, I think that was more a metaphor or trying to prove a point or illustrate a point. I don't think it was factual. I think they were just going off of, let's use this story to make this point over here. So fuck you.
Okay, Redmond, what does SETI actually do? Tim, go.
They actually take a scientific approach to looking at and listening for life from other places. That's a really quick.
Okay.
Not just a freelance. Oh, there's so much. You know what? No, I'm just going to keep it quick.
That's a topic.
I was going to say I'm going to be quiet. That's a topic.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. I mean that it's a search for intelligent extraterrestrial life. They're looking for signs, and they do experiments to look for that. But it's like it's a needle in a galaxy of haystacks. I mean, it's an impossible task. I feel bad for them. It's if any time luck would have to do with something being discovered, that would be it.
Yep. All right. John, what are your thoughts on the observer effect? Kenny, you're first.
Oh shit. Wait, go to Tim.
I know this one.
Tim,
this was a extraneous variable that we had to study in psychology for experiments. It's basically if somebody knows that they're being observed, will they change their behavior? And yes, it has been shown to exist.
Yep. All right. It's
I agree with Tim.
Probably the best answer out of the three of us, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Redmond. Okay, which one of you are willing to do your Bigfoot call on the show? I'm going to start. Hold on. I'm going to start. I think they're misinterpreted, and they're probably bears standing up on their hind legs. So I'm simply going to say, go Packers, fuck the Bears. Tim?
Wow, I did not see that twist coming. Wow.
Okay, hold on. A Bigfoot call. I got him. Hold on. He's
hello.
Oh wait, here's one. Ready?
That's what I was good. Yeah.
Oh my god.
There it is.
I don't know.
Kenny,
I actually don't know what a Bigfoot call is.
So in my travels, like I've gone out with Eric a couple times on Bigfoot hunts, like camping out overnight in the woods and stuff. And the Bigfoot calls are called whoops.
Oh.
Where
there it is.
Yeah, pretty much. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but it's almost like
do it.
Get it out. Shut up.
Make sure we're recording, Dave.
Okay. It sounds like the fucking danger signal from Star Trek.
Yes.
It did, didn't
it? They've done that. And that's one of the things that I always ask. Like, I keep asking Eric, like, what the fuck are they doing? And he's like, that's the sound that people think they make. And I'm like, no, there's no way a 10-foot, 800-pound hairy creature is going to do a whoop.
That sounds, it seems like I've watched a nature, it sounds like a primate or an actual call that,
right.
I don't want to say monkey or orangutan. I don't want to put it, but it sounds like I've heard that on
I did that for you, Red Man. I did that for you.
That sounds like it's mimicking.
Okay, I think I know what John is getting at. Wrong observer effect.
Oh.
I meant the one. There must be an observer for something to exist. I think you're talking the wave particle whole duality thing, and then when you observe it, something happens. And people that there's a lot of people that think that things only become reality when you observe them. Everything is kind of possible until you observe it. And then it collapses the wave function and it becomes reality. So that's a deep, deep topic. And
Jim's writing it down. Look, he's writing it down. I saw that.
I said thank you to Melissa for wishing me a happy.
Yeah, the double slit experiment. Yeah, Dr. Jim, you're absolutely right. The thing is, you got to remember that's at the quantum level, very small quantum level. And does it actually expand and relate to our size of the world, macro type effects? So it's a very complicated thing. I think that would be a good topic for the show. We could explore that. There's actually some really good basic background stuff. If you want a really fun cartoon explanation of it, try Dr. Quantum. They're really fun YouTube videos that explain that. So I think that's definitely a show topic, because there are people that truly think that our reality is created as we observe things. But however, one thing I'll leave you with to think about until we bring that topic up and have a show: how does that compete with everybody else observing things and their reality?
So who is Dr. or Sherlock Holmes? What's his nemesis?
Moriarty.
So there is a physicist. So over the time, I love physics. Over the time, I ended up Phil Moriarty. He's a physicist. He did a lot of videos for 60 Symbols, and he is he is great at taking complex ideas like this and at least getting the concept of it to a lay person. Thank you. And one of the things that I remember listening to him say, and he would say it often, he is a quantum physicist. He is. And so listening to him helps me understand. But exactly what Dave said is exactly how he put it up. He goes, things like that happen at an extremely microscopic, just such a, he would say there's no evidence that things scale up. So as things get bigger, as things begin to get into our type of world, there's no evidence that things scale up.
But we that would be a good show, because I think what they're seeing is on the molecule basis, which is a lot bigger than quantum basis, and then photosynthesis and other things that are going on. They are just discovering or thinking that there's some quantum level effects that are going on there as well. So it's not just 100% at the very, very small subatomic level, that there actually might be some bigger things under normal conditions that they're seeing that could be quantum level based. So that would be a good show topic. So.
Well, we're going to have to find a physicist.
Yeah.
We need
Otherwise, we're going to hurt our brains.
Yeah.
All right. So we are at 8:03. That's 1 hour and 3 minutes. So we're going to wrap it up here. No closing comments tonight because it was open mic night. So I'm going to start with what's coming up here. Saturday nights, 3 Tortured Souls. I'll be out in Gettysburg with Kenny and Tim on or in August. And Tim, what do you got? Probably the same shit, right?
Same shit. So anyway, I want to say happy Father's Day to everybody out there as well. Yes. I'm really excited. My daughter came in and it's really great. I enjoy, just so happy.
All right, Kenny.
So what do I got? Holy shit. There's a lot of stuff coming up. July starts my really active season. July 8th to 9th, I'll be at Fort Mifflin in Philadelphia. I want to be hanging out with John without an H. And Dr. Jim, that's in the chat. He'll be there. We're going to be hanging out. They're doing an investigation of the Fort Mifflin, and I'm going to be the token skeptic that they can pick their brain. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's fun. So July 16th is Skeptical, which is put on by this California Skeptics. It's an online conference. You can register at Skeptical something. Do a search on that and find it. I don't have the address with me, but I'll be speaking about my journey from ghost hunter to skeptical activist, and everything in between. July 23rd is Para-Unity in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'll be set up. I think I'm the only skeptic that's allowed to set up at that conference.
You're going to test the Unity, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to test it. All right. It'll be cool. I got some friends there, so it'll be fun. And then let's see, August 19th to 21st is the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash, where the three of us will be there, hanging out the whole weekend. We're going to do a live show. We're going to have fun. We're going to interact. We're going to try not to cause a fight. But, who knows with Tim, because he's the one that causes all kinds of ruckus.
It happens.
Then the last thing I have is October 20th to 23rd is SciCon in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll be out there. If you're interested in science conferences, they are much different from paranormal conferences, much more expensive too, but definitely worth it. Thank you, Jim, Dr. Jim. You get a lot of people. I know like Neil deGrasse Tyson will be out there. He's going to speak. There's several other people that's going to speak. You get to talk to actual scientists and stuff that present information from their fields of study, and it's really nice. I take tons of notes, and then you get to meet everyone. It's a very nice social setting. So that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Great questions, great discussion. Appreciate it. Fun show, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't for chance, don't for chance, don't for chance. Aliens are real, those talk to me. Aliens are real, Bigfoot is real. Don't question me. Dave has a doubt, Dave has the doubt. Those that are real, I'm on TV. Don't for chance, don't for chance, don't for chance, don't for chance. And what you say, oh, you'll get to bed.